Hello! In this video, we're going to review the new features in VSS version 2.4, specifically the remote file and the new functionality on the iPad. This includes remote dispatching and creating new orders while at sea. Please make sure you do check out our other instructional videos for full demonstrations on this solution's functionality. One of the biggest new features that we're most excited about with the version 2.4 release is the ability to dispatch from an iPad. As you can see right here, you have your VSS Central menu, and you are used to seeing your timesheets, fuel log, maintenance log, and your return to orders button, but now at the very top we have a dispatch button. This takes you into the actual central dispatch file, and this format is different than what you would see if you were looking at the central file on a desktop computer, but all of the information is here. We've just rearranged it so that the most pertinent information is viewable at the top of the order without needing to scroll down. Now, as you can see, there are a few buttons up at the top. We have pull emails, new order, assign captain, and text captain. I'm going to start by pulling in a new order. And we pulled in our one new order. And then what I can do is I can go ahead and I could add some contact information, a vessel type that wasn't provided. I could put in some more of this time information, and then depending upon where I am on the form, when I'm ready to actually send it out to my captain, I can either scroll down and come to my assign captain field, or I can click this assign captain button, and that drops me down to my field to assign the captain. And once you assign a captain, you then have a text captain button that pops up. But say that you wanted to check something one more time before you texted your captain, you could come up and you go, oh, okay, I did put that information in there. I don't have to resend it to them. You can also click the text captain button at the top without having to scroll back down and find this button next to the field. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to actually come back to the remote file. We're going to go return to orders, and we're going to retrieve our jobs. And that job for Emma came down here at the bottom. And so I, as the captain, I'm going to come in here and put in some information about the order. And I'm going to put in a couple of services. One of the things that you can now do in the remote file is click this checkbox down here, and what that checkbox is going to do is actually auto-create you a timer when you submit this order back to dispatch. So you can see it says create a timer entry in Central when submitted ? When you click that, it will create that timer entry. Mark is complete. And then down here, you'll see a timer entry will be automatically created in Central. That reminds you that you checked that button. So I'll click submit. And it says my transfer is complete, the order's been submitted to Central, and a timer entry has been created for us. I can click OK. Now, before we go back and look at that timer entry, I do want to point out one more thing on this remote file. We know that sometimes captains will come across a boater while they're already at sea, and they'll need a new blank order so they can assist this boater. Before version 2.4, we suggested that dispatchers send each of their captains a few blank orders each day that these captains could use if they came across a stranded boater. However, now captains have the ability to create a new blank order on their iPads with no internet connection. All they have to do is click this new button at the top, New Order, and that will bring up a blank order that they can then fill out while they're assisting the boater. Now, it is important to note that this order will remain local on the captain's iPad, meaning that dispatch will have no record of this order until the captain actually submits it back to the central file. Before this order is submitted back to dispatch, it will have a reference number of TBD, which means to be determined. When they do submit it back and it is synced with the central file, it will automatically be assigned an appropriate reference number. I'm going to come back to my central file, and I have to log in. And now I'm going to come to Timesheets, and I'm going to show you that timesheet that was created. So right here, you can see that we have a timesheet for Sarah Fuller. It was auto-generated from the remote file for order 280. When we click on that, you can see that it pulled over my start and my end time, my order number, sunrise, sunset, and it also pulled over my total from order. So if I'm being paid on a commission basis, all I'd have to do is enter my commission percentage and it would calculate that for me. One more thing that I do want to mention that we did talk about in other videos is that we've added a few catches to prevent erroneous data entry in our fuel logs module. So when you're entering a new fuel log, the system is actually going to catch for future dates and ask the user if they wish to proceed. Sometimes on the iPad, it can be easy to accidentally change a year or a month when you don't mean to. We also now require engine hours. And lastly, we've opened up these cost per gallon, number of gallon, and total cost fields to allow for easier calculation. So you can either put in your cost per gallon and your number of gallons and it will calculate total cost, or you can just put in your number of gallons and then you can put in a total cost and it will calculate the cost per gallon. You also, as always, have to assign a boat and then a location. And when we click save, it's going to pop up and tell us that the date we're trying to save it as is 365 days from today. It'll ask us if we want to proceed. If we click cancel, we can come down and we can fix the date. It's also telling us that this fuel log has conflicting hours with another fuel log in the system. So I'll just go ahead and click cancel because I want to fix that. And now it's going to go ahead and accept my fuel log. One more thing that I do want to mention, the maintenance log is also going to go ahead and catch for future dates when you're doing entries. And we also now have a personnel field so that you can assign an employee to each maintenance entry. The last thing that I want to mention is that VSS is now accessible on your iPhone. So all of the functionality that you see me performing right here on an iPad, you can do on your iPhone via FileMaker Go. Please make sure that you do check out our other videos about what's new with version 2.4, as well as our entire suite of instructional videos on the VSS system. Thanks for watching.